Have any of us ever been to a comedy class? Because they teach comedy class.
No.
And I just thought, how do they do that? I've never experienced one, so nobody here has done that.
I don't know how they teach an acting class.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
I understand piano, but...
Well, have anyone been to an acting class?
Yeah. I have.
Yeah. Yes, I went to acting classes.
And what was that experience like?
This is a generalization, but like spending 3 hours with that particular group of actors, like I got frustrated because I had things to learn and I liked watching people and stuff, but like I got frustrated that I felt like I feel like I feel so deeply, I feel so much, you know, but I can't tap into it like super easily. But then there'll be a girl who I feel like just lives on the surface, you know, and she'll like do a scene and like sob, and they'll be like, "What were you thinking of?" And she's like, "My dog," you know, and I just go, well, I got frustrated by the access that people had to emotions that I felt like these were people who, I'm not judging them, but I just felt like I have so much inside me. Why can't I access that so easily? Like these people that are like, you know,
idiots.
You know, in some ways, like I think
We're not judging people at all.
I think that there are actors that run deep and that are, you know, like Meryl Streep or something, that are like complete people that have found that skeleton key to access these things. But then there are people who are genuinely like amazing actors that are truly empty vessels, you know, like through which great acting comes through. And I don't think that can really happen necessarily with comedy, but that's an obnoxious thing to say. And there are a lot of dumb comedians. I'm a dumb comedian, but it's just, I think that I've met some
You
actors
heard it here!
Oh my God, can we back up a second?
It's so hard to talk about comedy, isn't it? It's like
because you're forced to deconstruct something that you don't want to have to think about
and to read about it. Like
if you deconstruct it, you ruin it.
Yeah,
you know?
and it's unbearable to talk about it or read about it in many ways because it's like it's so subjective. It's so case by case basis. There's no rules to it. The example of all of us here is an example of how there's so many kind of different flavors and spectrums. It's true, like about how and you can't. It's like talking about like describing how a song sounds or something. It's just really hard to describe, and it just gets really intellectual, and then it becomes kind of heavy or something. I don't know.
Toni, you said you took acting classes.
But I left drama school.
You left drama. How old were you?
I was 19 when I left. I auditioned when I was 17. I did a year when I was 18. And then in my second year, I was offered to do a play with the Sydney Theatre Company. And I just decided I felt like I would learn more, you know, actually doing it rather than being in a room and, you know, agonizing over it.
So
I busted out.
Did any of you learn anything in acting class?
Well, I found that what acting class was for was unlearning all the stupid stuff you do. Because people think acting is one thing, and it's just not that at all.
Yeah, I think it's about being honest and about being present. I think if you can just be in it, it's like a metaphor for life, you know.
Yeah.
Just be present, man.
Yeah.
I mean, then something real can happen, and you can feel it, and people respond to the energy of it, and that's ultimately what and you can't really learn that.
I loved school, by the way. If they offered a doctorate in acting, I'd still be there. I would not be
Really?
working.
Oh, really?
Well, fear. It was so safe.
So what did you learn?
Well, I really, I went to grad school. Yeah, I kept going as long as they'd have me. There were a bunch of really great, not so great ideas being tossed around by teachers, students, etc. And if you just, I felt like a lot of it was just trying these different things, and some of them worked for you, some of them didn't. But it kind of...
It's good to be able to try.
It's good to be able to try it, and you know, you frequently would surprise yourself by what you were capable of, and you were not so surprised by things I knew I couldn't play Stanley in Streetcar, but and I did try.
I always disagreed with you about that.
Thank you. You are my Blanche. But I just felt like by the time I was finished and kicked out of the nest, as it were, I felt a little more honed down, like a little more. Maybe, like you say, bad habits, whatever. There's just some extraneousness gone, and I knew kind of more of what I was bringing to the party, or whatever. So for that reason,
Whatever.
well, I wouldn't want to get specific at this round table. I want to keep it monogamous. But yeah, I loved it.
Such a good boy.
Thank you.
Boy.
Did you get
I
good
love
grades?
the shape of your head.
I got good grades. Thank you. I got good grades until I got good grades after I started doing just theater stuff. I can't believe we've done. I had 1 F in meteorology, and that was it.
In meteorology? Why? What didn't stick about this? Is
Okay.
yeah.
I wanted to be a weatherman for a while. I can't believe this. I'm sorry. I
Go
wanted
ahead.
to be a
No.
weatherman for a while.
By all
wanted
means.
this.
This is, yeah.
And so when I
Better
had to
than
take a
talking about
science in
comedy.
undergrad for a credit, and I thought, well, you loved hurricanes, you loved the weather. No, I didn't. Apparently, I loved the drama of it, but I did not. There was a lot going on in my life then, and I would show up to class and A, be shocked that we were taking a test. I couldn't believe it. And then B, they bring out calculators, and I thought, what do we need a calculator for? I have no idea what I would even use a calculator for in here. And I failed. This is the only F I ever got.
That's nice that you liked the drama of hurricanes, but none of the science.
Yeah. Well, my mother always talked me down. She's like, Jim, this is nothing to be excited about. These kill people. And I was like, I understand that, but I can't quite get over it. Something brewing out there that's going to come and hit us.
Would you dig like being a storm chaser? Would anyone ever want to chase? Like, are you the kind of? Is anyone here the kind? I'm going to take over for a second. Is anyone here the kind of person that would, when there's a really bad storm, you go outside? Like, do you get excited or do you hide? You know what I mean? When there's like lightning, do you go over the window and look at it, or do you?
Yes, I'd be at a window.
Yeah.
But it's a safe distance. There's
Sure.
a window. See, I loathe conflict. I will remain in
chain
my
within
home.
the
Yes,
house.
exactly. But I too took meteorology.
Did you?
But aced it, my friend,
Wow.
and that's why
Did you want to be a
you will
weatherman?
never come over to stage 26. I'm sorry.
Did you want to be a weatherman at all?
I did not. No, never wanted to be a weatherman.
But don't you want to know what the calculators are for?